Thanks, Mark. Mike Robinson joining us again after a huge win over BYU, that 28-21 victory. What a game and what a finish for Toledo.
You know what? This is just one of the hallmark finishes of Jason Candle's career here at Toledo as a head coach. You know, this is a big victory for the Toledo Rockets team. The way they did it, you know, just from coming from behind and just leaning on that defense who have been so stout, and we're impressed with it. So tip the hat to Coach Brian George and his defensive staff, because the defense saved the day again.
And speaking of that defense, coming off of that Colorado State win, where they gave up nearly 700 yards or something like that, and to have a game like that against BYU, kind of on the field the whole entire day it felt like, and just really helping that offense out.
Yeah, 100%. It started up front with the defensive line. This Toledo Rockets defensive line really did a lot of different things up front. Pressuring the quarterback is the key, because when they didn't pressure the quarterback and they gave the quarterback tons of time to sit in the back in the pocket, he picked the defense apart, dumping it off to his tight end, number 89, who's going to be an NFL prospect, and just finding the gaps and doing the things that they do right. But Toledo have to be a little bit more aggressive, and you saw that once they started blitzing Saeed Holt, once you started seeing Blue get in the backfield, you saw the whole team get electric and energized. And the best thing that they do on the defensive side is what they do with the rotations on the D-line. Not giving those guys too many snaps, only about 5-6 players at a time. New group come in, they really appreciate that, and you can see how it affect the team later on in the game.
And offensively, the 1-2 punch with Bryant Koback and Shaquille Seymour. I mean, we saw a huge game out of Koback at that Colorado State contest, and then Shaquille came up huge, a couple of touchdowns, and just a great performance to see out of him.
You know, this is a huge game for Shaquille Seymour, you know, kind of his breakout game of the 2019 season. But it was big for him in more than just one way. You know, he was dealing with some family issues as well, and that's something that no one can kind of accept at the same time. And you even think about Sean Mills, the long snapper, and things that he had to deal with last week. His buddy had passed away before the Colorado State game, so he had to go to a funeral, then travel to the game and have to deal with that. So these are still young men who still deal with things that happen off the field. But offensively, Shaquille Seymour saved the day, you know, and he said that in his post-conference presser. He said, hey, when my buddy went down, I went to the sideline, told him I love him, I got his back. And you can see the passion in his face, and that he really, truly cares about his teammates, and that no matter if Koback gets 100 yards and he gets 10 or vice versa, those guys are going to be okay in that room.
And that's something every year you like to see, but this year especially, it seems like this team is so much closer than we've seen in years past. What have you noticed?
Well, you know, from being around the team since 2016, on being on recruiting staff, and just kind of seeing it from the media spectrum the past 3 years, one thing that I've realized is there's still a lot of members on this team who played significant roles in that 2017 MAC championship. So they've seen the team go up to the top and win and beat the Northern Illinois and Westerns in the same season. So they have that kind of breed. You know, they've been to 3 bowl games and they haven't won one in a while. So this is something that this team has a lot of goals. You hear their mantra of the season, eat. They got a lot of things they want to achieve, but you got to give it up to this to Jason Candle for what he's done by really making this team family-centric.
And after the win, Jason Candle was very complimentary of his team, but the main thing he said was, you know, the conference chairman wasn't here this week to give us the title. That all starts this week. They open MAC play this week at home against a Western Michigan squad that has been tried so far this year. They've had a couple of close-ish losses to some pretty good teams, and they opened up MAC action last week with a win. What are we looking at to shut down John Wasnink? I'm going to cut that. It's going to be weird. But, okay, Western Michigan.
Well, basically what you got to do is you got to pressure the quarterback. Anytime your quarterback is 17th in the nation in QBR, you really got to put your eyes on it. And that's with John Wasink, who's the quarterback there for Western Michigan, I believe. And he's doing a great job. Obviously, he got injured. They put the backup in last year when Toledo played him. He did a heck of a job, you know, gave Toledo a run for their money. And Eli Peters had to come in last year. So we saw the 2 backups play in that game last year, so to say. So this year we'll get the premier show, and it's going to be on homecoming. So it's going to be another exciting, fun crowd. And I'm just so impressed with how Toledo has had so many fans at these past games, and for first game, second game. Now this game is going to be homecoming. This was going to be a packed house, and this is going to be a good game, but the Rockets have to show up again. They have to show up again. And what I mean by that is offensively up front, the O-line did everything they possibly supposed to do. That was a bigger defensive line, giving up at least 50 pounds and 4 inches. So they did a great job there. Now with this conference play, this is a rival. This is a rivalry game. Toledo went in there and beat them in their house. They're expecting to do the same. This year we got a little bit more talent. I think we're a little bit more loaded. And if we can just take care of our edges, not let these teams get to us to the outside. The Rockets are going to do a good job here. Containing the quarterback is key.
What does homecoming look like here in Toledo?
Well, from a former homecoming king you're talking to.
I didn't know that. Congrats, it's good to know. It's good to know.
Hey, don't look in the record books. It's a long time ago, people. But, it's a great time here. You're going to see a lot of fans, a lot of people tailgating in Lot 10 and bringing a lot of good energy and atmosphere. So what you saw in the first couple weeks, the first couple home games that the Rockets had with the fans, the energy is going to be 10 times higher and the pressure is going to be mounted. You're going to see on the sidelines probably the likes of Kareem Hunt. You're going to see on the sidelines probably Bruce Gradkowski, Logan Woodside, and any and every other alumni that means something to this program and that this program means something to. They're going to be here. So the pressure is going to be on. They're going to be sitting around like, hey, we didn't lose to these guys last year. We beat these guys. And you see it every week, those guys hanging around the sideline because this is tradition with this football program and the Glass Bowl that people just really stay with. It's real majestic on homecoming, and hopefully Your Majesty is going to get the big win, and the Majesty is the Rockets. It's not the homecoming king. I'm not.
Okay, all right. Are you going to bring your crown? I feel like you should sport it on the sideline for the broadcast. I mean, it would add a little something, I think.
Well, the fact that I got a face for radio, it probably would work that I bring my crown. That only the people in the stadium get to see it. The people on the radio don't get to see the ugly mug. But you know what? I'm excited though. My daughter's going to get to be able to be a part of the parade, see some of those things. But the cool thing is just so many fans here in Toledo that's never been to a Rocket football game. And with that being said, this is another opportunity for a lot of those new fans to come out and see what Rocket football is. And Jason Candle's big about that, having the community really dive into this team and be a part of it and let this team be a community-based team. Because you're going to have about 13, 14 guys on this roster that are from Toledo, and that's going to have a lot of fans here. So they're going to be looking for this team to come out here with a win, no doubt.
All right, well, thank you again to Mike Robinson for joining us. It's a 3:30 kickoff at the Glass Bowl between Toledo and Western Michigan to open Maction. Mark, we'll send it back to you.